Pachyderm Labs, from Pachyderm Consulting.
Hi everyone, this is Darran coming to you from Pachyderm Labs North, and today I'm here to talk about Jellybean, specifically Android version 4.1, codenamed Jellybean from Google. The Android operating system, of course, operates on Android phones and Android tablets, and this latest version, which was codenamed Jellybean, has been out since July 11th, and it's currently only available on Nexus phones, which are the phones that are manufactured or at least put out by Google, and of course the Nexus 7 tablet, which just came out, which we'll have a review of shortly. Fortunately, I happen to have a Galaxy Nexus phone, and I've got the latest version of Jellybean on here, and I just want to show you guys what's new and what's cool about it. So let's take a closer look. Let's get started. Like all versions of Android, Jellybean has a home screen where you can place shortcuts to your apps as well as widgets, and it has an application drawer which holds all of your applications as well as widgets you can place on your home screen. On the home screen you can also have folders that hold your icons, and of course you can move things around as you like. To place a widget, go to the app drawer, find the widget you'd like. I'm looking for YouTube. There we go. Touch and hold, and then place on the screen wherever there's room. As you can see, this new version will actually move other icons around to make the right space. And many widgets are also interactive right on your home screen. Notifications are found in the usual place on Android. Simply swipe down from the top. Something new with Jellybean is the ability to see multiple notifications. So you can see I've got two notifications from two different apps. This one has 3 messages, so I can actually see all 3. When you're done with the notification, just swipe it right off. If you're done with all of them, hit that button and they'll all disappear. You can also access your settings by clicking that icon right there. You'll also notice that there are no hardware buttons on this version of Android. This is a carryover from Ice Cream Sandwich, the previous version, where the buttons are actually icons right on the screen, and you'll see that they will move and rotate to where they need to be rather conveniently. This icon right here is the multitasking icon. You hit that, and you can actually see all the applications you have running, and you can scroll through with a nice little screenshot of what was on the screen when you left that application. To close the application, again, simply swipe it away. Another new feature of Jellybean is called Google Now. This was brought in to compete somewhat against Apple Siri, and does voice searches as well as a bit of personal assisting. To access Google Now, simply hit the home button and drag up. And there you go. Now, there are these items called cards, which Google Now will pop up for you. It'll always have a weather card, which will tell you your weather and the recent forecast. And then as it gets accustomed to your behavior, it will actually show you things that you might need. Unfortunately, I don't need anything right now, but if I had an appointment coming up, say 10 miles from here, Google would actually pop up a card showing me when the appointment is and the traffic between here and there using their maps tools, and how long it would take me to get to that appointment. That's pretty handy. It also knows when I need to go pick up my kids from daycare and will tell me right about the same time what the traffic is at that point. Now, that doesn't sound like Siri, but this does. How's the weather in New York City?
It's 86 degrees and cloudy in New York.
Seems somewhat familiar. What is the definition of pachyderm?
A very large mammal with thick skin, especially an elephant, rhinoceros, or hippopotamus.
There you go. That's useful, but of course it also includes web results from a regular Google search. You can even have it find a website for you. www.pachyderm.net. Magic. This is the new Chrome browser. It's a great little browser. It has many of the features you're accustomed to in mobile browsing, as well as excellent use of tabs. As you can see, I actually already have a Pachyderm Consulting tab on there. I'm going to close that one. These are my bookmarks, and if you use Chrome on your desktop, you can actually synchronize your bookmarks between your desktop and your mobile, and even keep some other bookmarks in there as well. Like the Chrome browser, it also keeps a tab of recent sites that you've been accessing.
So here are my final thoughts. First of all, you might have noticed in the video how smooth and responsive my phone was, and that is no accident. A major initiative in this upgrade to Ice Cream Sandwich was to improve how smooth and fast it felt. It's not a new feature per se, but just a lot of time and effort spent on making the Android feel as polished and responsive as the iPhone. It's always been the reputation of the Android as being a little more stuttery and not quite as smooth, and now they've definitely gotten rid of that. It's for sure on par with the iPhone as far as interactive experience. As far as Google Now goes, it's definitely a cool feature, especially being able to talk to your phone and have it talk back just like Siri does. I wonder how much people really use it. I know I use it a little bit, but always feel a little self-conscious doing it, and my wife rolls her eyes. However, the personal assistant features of it, where it pops up a card that helps you out with things that are happening around you, giving you more information, I think that's very cool and something I do use quite a bit. This is definitely the first version of Android that has felt as polished, has felt as professional and ready for prime time as the iPhone. That's something the iPhone has always had over the Android, and I think this is the first time that there's really no difference there. In fact, I would say the Android's a little better, but that's just me. The biggest problem with Jellybean is it's not available yet for most phones. The Nexus phones, like I mentioned before, they have it available just because they don't have to go through the manufacturers and the cell phones to have all their junk added. It's just direct from Google. However, I'm getting news reports now that newer versions of phones that are out now are going to get the update soon, probably within a month. But other phones are going to take maybe up to a year. Maybe they'll never have them at all. That's just part of the problems with Android as far as getting their updates to the market. And that's not really their fault. It has to do with the third-party manufacturers, companies like Samsung and HTC and Motorola. They all have to have the updates first to add their stuff, and then they send it to the cell phone companies, and the cell phone companies want to add all of their stuff. And the result is a long time before you get the updates. And what you do get actually has stuff that Google didn't intend to have on the phone. Some companies are worse than others as far as adding a bunch of their own junk and slowing the phone down. But so far it looks really good, and we'll see how they deal with the Jellybean update. But either way, definitely worth the upgrade, and I love it. Thank you.